to the With Mates podcast. My name is Andrew Grayson, your host as ever, and welcome to another episode of the wonderful little show that we like to call The Catch Up. Yes, this is our weekly YouTube episodic podcast that we do week to week, where me, myself, Andrew Grayson, and he, himself, Joseph Boone.
Hello.
And themself, Polly Smack.
Hey, Polly's here.
And I've ran out of pronouns, but he is the triple barrel man. He is Craig Andrew Mooney.
That's right. No pronouns for me. I'm happy with that.
Pronounless.
We're not political. Anyway, yes, we're back for another episode of The Catch Up. Another week has come and gone, and we are here to talk all things movies, TV shows, entertainment, and just what's going on in our general Scottish lives. How are we, guys? It's been a while. It's not really. It's been a week, but how are we? What have we been up to?
Just sitting in this cupboard constantly, as you can see.
Yeah, fair.
Like, you've caught me in the middle of voiceover stuff, so like, yeah, that's
nice.
That's how we're doing.
It's some steady work, Joseph, because you've been doing a lot of that recently, and I'm happy to see it, mate.
It's good. It's tiny little stuff. It's not like there was a brief stint during like the 2020 and 2022 regions that there was some interesting voice work coming in, a lot of personal ads coming in for voice work.
Nice.
So yeah, interesting stuff.
I'm still working on that goal of somebody to pay me to play golf. I'm adamant now. I'm absolutely adamant it's going to happen. But yeah, I got my script in for Alice in Wonderland when I'm going down to Lincoln to do a wee bit of Alice in Wonderland acting. So yeah,
what are you playing?
I'm playing the White Rabbit, and I am playing Tweedledee. Joe Castro.
Are you late?
I'm late. I'm late for a very important date. Incredibly late.
See, I thought you would play the Queen of Hearts. I thought you'd make a good Queen of Hearts.
No, I was flattered that they didn't give me Tweedledum. The fact they gave me Tweedledee, I was like, oh, thank you very much.
They clearly don't know you.
No, yeah, exactly. I feel like a swift recast will be happening when I get down to Lincoln. I just like, you know what, Andrew, just you flip over to that other guy. Paul, what about you, mate? What you been up to?
Been murder mysterying and doing stuff adjacent to murder mysterying, like a mother effer.
Stuffer.
Just stuffer, mother stuffer.
A mother stuffer.
No, that's worse. That's worse, actually.
That's worse,
okay. Can we get a...
Depends what you're into, mate. That might not necessarily be worse. Do you know what I mean? That might be better. You don't know what he's into.
There's the title of the episode, lads. There's the title of the episode. Just saying.
I'm a mother stuffer. And the busiest man in all of Scotland. What's happening, Minnie? What are we up to? Are we on book 3? Are we on script 9? Where are we up to in this year?
We are finishing off the final draft, but the final draft that I'm okay with at this point in time of the second book. It'll be going off to the publishers very, very soon.
Nice.
And we'll see where that takes us.
Lovely. So what this week episode, again, we always come into this with just like a bold general outline of what we're going to chat about, and then wherever the conversation takes us, that's where we're going to go. But it has been a pretty, for listeners, right, because I feel as if we need to get this in here first, right, because I've noticed it, and we're only 3 episodes in, and the curse has already happened. We film these on a Thursday, and then we release these on a Monday. The amount of stuff that comes out on a Friday where I'm like, we would be talking about that. We would be talking about that. So some of the stuff that's come out, obviously over the weekend, the last weekend, not this current weekend that you guys are listening to, but the past weekend for us, the Oscars were held. So we know the Oscar results. There was some news about Marvel's new movie, the Avengers Doomsday, which got me incredibly excited, and I'm going to get the boys' opinions on that. We also seen, if you're a WWE fan, just like myself and Paul, the heel turn of the century. John Cena is finally a bad guy, and there's going to be people watching and listening to this going, what the fuck does that mean? He's been a good guy since 2003.
You just spoiled my stuff, Andrew.
Oh, was that your stuff?
That was my big stuff.
Then I'm not spoiling it. You take it away, mate. Let me hear what your thoughts are, because I don't know if you, like Joseph, Craig, I don't know if you...
Let me set
you go,
the
Paul.
scene.
Yeah, you go, Paul.
I shall set the scene. A couple of weeks ago, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, one of the highest paid actors and member of the board of TKO, which is the company that owns WWE and
Black
UFC, walked in to WWE, spoke to their champion, Cody Rhodes, and he said, Cody, I want your soul. But I don't want an answer now. I want an answer at Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber comes, and John Cena He came back, he won the big one through somewhat dubious. It was a bit of a grey win, but he won. And then The Rock comes out, and it's going to be Cena versus Cody in the main event of WrestleMania. The Rock comes out and he says, Cody, I'm here. I want my answer. I want your soul. What do you say? And for the first time, at least that I've heard, really, on live WWE television, Cody dropped an F-bomb. He said,
I was going to say, for the first time, if you're not The Rock, because when The Rock come back last year, he was dropping them left, right, and centre. But
well, yeah, he was dropping them. But Cody dropped a big plain old F-bomb. He said, Rock, go fuck yourself. And the crowd was going mental. John Cena's going mental. He's going with the crowd. Goes to hug. Cody says, I'm going to see you. I'm proud of you. I'll see you at WrestleMania. He goes for this infamous hug. But as his head is hidden from Cody, you just see a glimpse of Cena's face, which has turned a very dour expression. And Rock gets a big old throat slit expression. And then Cena squares him right in the balls.
Kicking the deck.
Proceeds to beat him up with his own Rolex, bloodying him up. Even, I should mention, Travis Scott came out with The Rock, just as a display of how many celebrities I can get to stand next to me. And then Cena stands side by side with Rock, his foot firmly on Cody's head. And I just wanted to bring up a couple of interesting stats. The reason this is so massive is because you're right.
See, before you give us the stats, I just want to, because again, I just want to gauge where Joseph, and because I don't think you guys were you guys ever into wrestling, and do you follow wrestling? Did you know about this before we started talking about it?
I didn't know about this. I've been like wrestling adjacent. I know some things from having to sell wrestling action figures at work, and I'm also. The only match I'm actually infinitely actually aware of is the one where Mankind gets all the thumbtacks in his back.
Could be numerous. Yes. Could be numerous matches.
It's quite a few.
There's a specific where he's thrown off the top of the cage.
Yeah, Hell in a Cell.
Ah, yeah, that one.
That's the only one I know about because I was sat down in a pub once and showed this match.
Yes.
What did you watch? Oh no, wait, I'm forgetting. You're significantly older than us. I was like, you're not the same age as me. So I was going, what did you watch when you were away?
What did I watch when I was away? Robot Wars, mate.
I watched Robot Wars. I still watched it. That was on at 6 o'clock. Wrestling was on at 9.
Wrestling wasn't for me, man.
Fair enough. Mooney, any thoughts?
Couldn't give a shit, mate.
Couldn't give a shit. It's
no, I'm pretty certain
the highest paid actors in Hollywood, and they're making headlines. Just not
for the right reasons.
It's all real.
The interesting thing the rest is real to me. The interesting thing for me though is like obviously the reason I'm asking about the past because there was the whole thing was Hogan was the biggest heel turn. So Hogan was the good guy through the 80s and then he turned bad in the 90s and that started the NWO, which was the big buzz for wrestling through the 90s and stuff like that. Attitude Era, all that blah blah blah. The big thing for me about this is like John Cena is now retiring. They finally turned him heel, but the big thing about John Cena is he does all the Make-A-Wish things. Like he is a legitimate, really nice guy. He's the most.
He's the number one Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, he's done more Make-A-Wish,
more wishes.
Yeah, than anybody else. So it's one of these things where I'm kind of similar, maybe more. Maybe I've got like 4 or 5 toes dipped in, but I would say I'm kind of wrestling adjacent in the sense of I don't watch it week to week, but I know what's going on. And then if the Royal Rumble's happening, I'll usually watch the Royal Rumble, and if it's still good, I'll watch WrestleMania. I'm so in now. I can't wait for WrestleMania. I'm definitely going to be sitting up.
I've gotten a lot back into it a lot more the past couple of years. I think it's picked up quite a bit, and I was so psyched. I watched it live, and I was just like, oh my god!
The other thing as well is it's on Netflix now as well, so it's pretty much everybody can watch it and stuff like that.
Anyone can watch it. Because the stat, you were right. He's been a babyface. Babyface is a wrestling parlance for a good guy.
Yeah.
And a heel is a bad guy. And he has been a babyface since October 19, 2003. And he turned heel there on March 1st, 2025. Which is unreal. That is 21 years. In fact, that is 7,803 days. Which is in fact the Guinness Book of world records has just granted him the longest face run.
That can't be true. Rey
in
Mysterio's
WWE.
Rey Mysterio's been longer than that.
He's not turned heel though.
He's not a bad guy.
So-
He's not a bad guy. That's the longest face turn.
It's in the book, so you got to argue with Guinness.
I'll
I would
always argue with Guinness. That's my job, right? Before Craig falls asleep, let's move on swiftly, right? But again, I found that really interesting. I was like,
Oh,
so I'm glad you
for
brought it up.
people that know, it's like.
Right, let's move on then. So I'll put it to you, Craig. What would you like to start with? Would you like to talk Oscars or would you like to talk Marvel?
Oh, that's a good question. I want to talk Marvel.
Let's talk
Save the best
Marvel.
till last.
I have something to say.
Oh
I have something to say.
no, I don't like that tone already. So in the week of,
Yeah.
in the world of Marvel, what we've had this week is we have Daredevil, Born Again is now live on Disney Plus, the first 2 episodes. We will be coming to you with a spoiler review of both of those episodes. I believe it'll be myself and the wonderful Rich Francis. We will be doing a wee review of that at some point this week. And we had some leaks when it comes to Avengers Doomsday, which we'll talk about. But what would you like to come to the with mates? What do you want to talk about with your mates, Craig? What's up?
Well, as I am the TV guy, I think I'm going to be coming at this with a bit of TV in mind, and that, of course, with Daredevil. So, I am, at the minute, thoroughly underwhelmed. I'm afraid.
Yes.
I've only watched the first episode, so I'm not going to go full in here, right?
What do you mean full?
However-
You're only one episode in.
I'm meaning full in with my opinion. I'm just saying, based on what I've seen so far, it's not been a great start, and I think it has suffered. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, by the way, because obviously Andrew, you've not seen it yet, but I feel like it has suffered a little bit from these like changes. I think it's very clear where the changes have come from and where they're kind of stitched in. I'm hoping that once we get past these first few episodes, it will start to be a bit more coherent, a bit more of a structured story because they've got past that point. If you know what I mean. However, the last 15 minutes slightly won me around. So I'm looking forward to episode 2.
What?
Joseph?
No. Before we get before we get to Joseph, because Joseph, have you watched them?
I've watched both of them.
And you're
which is
cheering
which
that
is a
shit,
first.
you fucking weird guy. Right, before we get Joseph's opinion, because I'm very interested in Joseph's opinion, right? But before we get
I
that,
just
right,
want to say,
Oh,
I thought that was very brave of you, Craig. I thought that was very brave admitting that.
Paul,
Thank you,
And,
Paul.
I think
Paul,
Thank you.
Paul, fucking grow up, mate, right? Fucking grow up, is what I've got to say to that. I would like to just point out about our TV guy, right? Mr. fucking,
Oh my
you
God.
have to watch Severance, right? He went in on old Andy Boy, old Grayson Knight over here, right? That Spider-Man, Friendly Neighbourhood Spider-Man, wasn't as good as what I made out. Craig, would you like to tell the boys what you actually think of that?
Yep, it's a great show. I changed my mind.
Thank you.
I'm just saying, based on what I've seen so far, I'm not very impressed.
But
I think there's some good stuff.
This is the
Well,
second.
Everyone's been praising it, though, Andrew. Everyone's saying these 2 episodes fucking brilliant. These 2 episodes fucking brilliant. So I'm a bit concerned. Well, why?
Well,
if this
no,
is what's fucking
not
brilliant, where
everyone's
are we
been
going?
praising it. It's currently sitting lower than all of the other seasons on Rotten Tomatoes, I believe.
check this
Audience
now.
still got quite a high audience score, so audiences are clearly loving it. Critics are not, but bearing in mind it's only been out for like a couple of days at this point.
Yeah.
does this
thought-
make it the Andor of Marvel?
No, because Andor was
No, 'cause
loved, was it
Andor's-
not?
Yeah.
We
Well,
were the outcasts
I-
on that.
It's just
So I
us,
think
mate.
my thoughts on the first 2 episodes, spoiler free for you both.
Love it.
It does a really good job at reminding you how good the Netflix show was, and how this is not living up to it. There's just a few things in it that you go,
Yeah.
this doesn't feel quite right, and not in a they've made new artistic choices. It just feels like they're trying to like recapture that lightning in a bottle, and they're just not quite getting it. I will say, both Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio's performances,
To be fair,
are fantastic as usual.
he is so fucking charismatic, man.
But there's
Charlie
like
Cox, man.
there's a few sequences where I'm like, in the old show they wouldn't have used CGI there. In the old show they wouldn't have done it like that. And I'm just sitting there thinking, because like I think one of the best Marvel things that's happened was the Daredevil show.
Easy.
And it's just not hitting that yet. I hope it does, because I think
me too.
I think it's one of the most compelling characters in the current Marvel Disney media that's happening right now. I just want them to hit those lofty heights again. I don't think Born Again is the right title for it.
So the one thing I've seen though is apparently the Born Again. Right. So full context. The reason I haven't watched the episodes is I binged season 1, season 2. I also watched The Defenders for the first time. My God, that's bad. It is honestly. I can't believe it's the same people that made. Like, see the way you're going, "Oh, this doesn't live up," and blah blah blah. The fight choreography in The Defenders is some of the worst I have ever seen. And then you get to Daredevil season 3. Oh my God, Daredevil season 3 is so fucking good, boys. It's so good.
Yeah.
So I rewatched it. I've got them up here, right? So season 1 was in 99, season 2 was in 81, and season 3 was in 97. So again, very well loved, all that kind of stuff. Daredevil, the current Daredevil, Born Again, is currently sitting at an 83.
So it's higher than season 2.
So it's higher than season 2.
Yeah.
83. We're only 2 episodes in, and I think there's only like 90 reviews so far. So again, there's going to be more reviews that will come in and will hang me. My one thing, right? Here's my thing about it, right? This is again falling under, and this isn't me making excuses, this is just the facts of it. This is falling under the thing that this was originally going to be an 18 episode series that they've went, we're not doing that, we're going to scrap it and we're going to change it. Originally Foggy Nelson wasn't going to be in it. What's her name? Karen wasn't going to be in it.
Karen Page.
Karen Page wasn't going to be in it. Then they've redone the script and they're now kind of pivoting into what they're going to do. They have already had Vincent D'Onofrio, the wonderful Vincent D'Onofrio, in other projects such as Hawkeye and Echo. Didn't quite hit the mark with either of those on what we wanted to be. What I hope and what I think they are going to do with this series, right, regardless of whether this lives up to Netflix, and I don't think it will, and even if it doesn't, that doesn't say that this is a bad show, because I'm telling you after just watching them, Daredevil season 1, the first half of season 2, and the full of season 3 especially, is some of the best television I've watched in a very, very long time.
No arguments there. I'm coming from the approach of, I think this season is going to be like the later Pirates of the Caribbean films. They're going to be great to watch. It's going to be fun, but they're never going to be as good as the first 3.
So, whether that happens or not, but again,
there's a list, by the way. There's a list that we need to do.
What's
a list video?
What's the list video?
Caribbean.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do it. I'm more than happy to do it.
There's no contest. The second one's the best one. No contest.
Fuck
You fear of death.
I do, Craig.
I feel like peak Jack Sparrow was one. That I feel like that would be my argument.
World's End. It's World's End.
It's the one with the lassie who
Davy
skins
Jones breaks. Davy Jones cheats the curse by standing in a bucket. It's the third one.
Is that the one where Johnny Depp goes, "I've got a jar of dirt, I've got a jar of dirt"?
No.
Is that the second one?
That's the second one.
It's the second one's the best one. Second one's the best one then. Yeah. So to me, look, if it doesn't live up to Daredevil, that doesn't mean, again, this is where I always go. Just because it's not 10 out of 10 doesn't make it shite, right? If this series is a 7 out of 10, great. I cannot fucking wait for it to be a 7 out of 10. Because again, right, it might not be as good as the Netflix stuff, but I can go watch the Netflix stuff again, and I probably will. I'm going to probably go and watch Punisher now because I had so much fun watching this shit. I won't watch Jessica Jones, and I won't watch Luke Cage, and I certainly won't be watching Iron Fist.
See, Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones season 1.
Season 1 of Jessica Jones.
I've watched season. I've seen season 1. Obviously, shout out Scottish alumni David Tennant kills it as is it
Kilgrave.
My dad. But yeah, like to me,
what a stupid name for a villain, by the way. It's like we need a villain name. Grave. Let's
Grave.
put those two words
That
together.
is an invincible villain if I have ever heard one.
Yeah.
What was it?
Oh, have you guys seen the there's a TikToker doing a filter for Invincible season 3. So like what it does as you're speaking, if you say in and like it immediately does like the smash to
That
the
is awesome.
It's brilliant.
Oh,
That's so good.
It's so cool.
Also, as well, just an intersecting it, we will have our Invincible review of this week's latest episode up very, very soon as well. If not, it'll probably be already up when you're watching this.
By this point.
So yeah, look, as far as Daredevil goes, look, I'm excited to have Charlie Cox back as Daredevil. I'm excited to have Vincent D'Onofrio back as Kingpin. I want those characters. Look, see at this point, right? I don't think we'll ever hit the highs of Infinity War and Endgame, and then even No Way Home. But there's still some stuff I want to see more interaction between Spider-Man and Daredevil. I want to see Tom Holland Spider-Man interact with Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. There is still these things in my stupid loser comic book brain where I'm like, we've not had that yet. I want to see that. It might not hit the heights that I've already had, but I want it.
I want the Sinister Six
This-
properly going against Spidey.
This is all sounding all very familiar to some of our Star Wars chats. Oh, I love that Hayden and Ewan McGregor are back, but it's just not quite hitting those highs as the prequels and the originals, is it? It's all gonna come crashing down on your stupid comic book heads.
But it's not though, because this is the
isn't gonna
difference.
live up.
This is the difference though between Star Wars and Marvel, right? Have Marvel had some lows? Yes. Have they been as low as Star Wars? No, they have not.
No.
What is the highest that you would
what's
say?
worse, Acolyte or Echo?
Echo's
Probably
not bad.
Acolyte,
Echo's
I'll
just
give you that.
boring. Acolyte's worse.
No, but I know, but
I
we have
would say
said
that's
multiple
one and the
times
same
on this
thing.
pod that boring is worse than bad because boring you've got nothing to talk about, whereas worse you do have things to talk about.
I see that argument. The point I'm trying to make is, right, Star Wars to me overall is lower in the food chain at the minute than Marvel.
Marvel.
But the big thing
sure.
about Marvel is even in the lowest, it's similar to fucking Man United the new that's absolutely destroying my soul. Our last 10 years we've been an absolute shambles in comparison to what Manchester United used to be, but we've still won trophies and we've still won cups, and most people would have our season over other people. Marvel have still had Guardians 3, they've had No Way Home, they've had Shang-Chi, they've still had great movies. Just overall it's not been as Loki seasons, like they've been great. I feel like by the end of Daredevil, I think we'll be big fans of it. I think the push that they've been doing with the marketing and stuff, I think they really believe in it and stuff like that. And again, I'm just still coming off a high of watching the Netflix series, so I am going to watch them tonight. I cannot wait. I will be doing.
I think
spoiler
you're
review.
going to have a better time.
Probably.
Like coming off of those three, then because I didn't
Yeah,
watch them
really
before
cool.
starting it. I think.
I was just gonna say,
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's like I think it's a series that benefits from a fresh memory of it because it doesn't feel as accessible for like a new watcher coming into it or like someone who hasn't seen the series in like 4 or 5 years.
Well, the one thing
I was gonna say that you're probably doing it worse though, because you're setting yourself up with all this glorious viewing content, and it only
Always the
be hit
positive,
with.
Paul.
I'm not gonna
Always
lie
the
though.
death.
Like again, I know where Joseph stands. Right, Joseph's not big on Marvel. Craig doesn't mind Marvel, and Craig. Mate,
I
you
like
come after
Marvel.
you come after Spidey, and then you change your mind. So I've got
I
a
know.
feeling that might be the same here. I feel as if you're not easily won
I
over.
hope
That's
so.
that's the wrong way of saying it. I feel as if once you get into it more and understand it more and see it
open.
more and appreciate it more, you can kind of be turned around. I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to seeing as well. What the interesting fact is, not only for a lovely point that you made, Joseph, is you're not coming in fresh from watching the series, so do you need to remember that? I also want to see how they not only have to bring it back to whatever it was 7-8 years ago since season 3 of Daredevil, what's going to interlock in terms of what we've seen already from Wilson Fisk. Do you know what I mean? Like, are they going to tie in Echo? Are they going to even mention She-Hulk? Are they going to... I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing if they do and how they do, because essentially, again, we're going to now move on to talk about Avengers stuff. That's the big old reset button. But to me, I'm going, look, if the reset button hits and I get Charlie Cox as Daredevil for the next 5-10 years again, happy days. If I get Vincent D'Onofrio, happy days.
Here's my one last question about this.
Hit me.
As someone who has not seen the episode yet, the spoilers for the original Daredevil series, but I mean, like, Fisk smashes somebody's head in with a car door. One of his informants that works for him literally impales his own head on a piece of sharp glass. The fight scenes are so brutal. And just like, I mean, they're famous for their continuous long shot fights. Is Born Again like anywhere close to being that like gritty and brutal? Because that's kind of part of the charm of Daredevil.
I would say, on the surface, yes.
Woo!
But once you've come out of it, you think that felt, at least from what I've seen in the first 2 episodes, it feels a bit, hey, remember that brutality? You got some there, right? And it feels a bit like a landlord special, really.
I think
in areas.
I think the other thing as well, though, is like, again, we all have that nostalgia of, oh, it was brutal, it was this, it was that. Coming off third season, yes, third season is brutal, lots of blood, lots of violence and stuff like that. But there's a lot of stuff that alludes to brutality and isn't really, you don't actually, so you see him jolt, and by the reaction of the guy you go, he's just broke his arm. You don't see like the bone pop out, you don't see, it doesn't go to that grotesque level of brutality, but you see him do that kind of, like, similar as Batman, where he'll break a limb, but he won't pierce the skin.
I'm excited to see your thoughts on it, Andrew, because for me, like, the first 2 episodes felt safe.
Okay.
But
that's so strange, because I'm seeing stuff online where it's not that. And again, don't give me any kind of reaction, because I'm already shitting myself for spoilers and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm interested to see what I think of the first 2 episodes. My first thing I'll probably do is come on to Messenger or WhatsApp and text you boys and either go, oh, you guys were right, I'm really sad, or ha ha ha, fuck you both, it's fucking brilliant. I hope it's the second one.
Listen to my voice note once you're done as well.
Yeah, that was the other thing as well. You sent a voice note and I was like, ooh, right.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a wee hat on, right? Because this is your spoiler warning. If you are, this is just video format, so you don't need to worry about it if you're listening for it. If you're watching this and you don't want to know anything about the leaks from Avengers Endgame, I am going to put this hat on. Once I take this hat off, we're no longer talking about Avengers Doomsday. Normally,
I like it.
Normally, I don't do concept art stuff, right? But we've heard nothing from about Avengers. We've heard nothing about, other than Robert Downey Jr. is coming as Doom. But boys, let's talk about it. Well, let's go with the fresh eyes. Let's go Baby Boone and Paul Stirrett. What do you guys make of, so we got these leaks, concept art. My first question to all three of you, is this a boo-boo, or was this a tactical leak somewhat similar to Deadpool getting leaked?
Have any of them been boo-boos?
I think it's a tactical leak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a tactical leak. I don't... So we've got a bunch of different concept arts. We've got Star-Lord and White Vision on the couch. That feels like a bit of fun from an artist. I can't see how that could be in a film, unless it's like a little, like, this is the call to action and this is what the characters have been doing.
So the one thing I will say as well, so in all these looks, you got all these leaks. There's mostly Avengers stuff, but there was some Fantastic Four stuff, but there's also a rumour that this might be from the Vision series that's coming, the White Vision series that's coming, so this might not necessarily tie into Avengers. Well, we don't know. There's no confirmation. Series? Yeah, there's a White Vision series coming out. So that might be coming from that. So yeah, like the ones that I think are most interesting is we get our first look at Doom in the chair. Looks so gothic, looks so brutal, looks very, the kind of gauntlets on his hands look very Iron Man-y. Really a big fan of that. But the one that I want to get all three your opinions on,
the helmet as well, the mask looks very Iron Man as well.
Which again, it makes sense in the sense, but again, I still feel as if it looks Doom. The other one that I want to talk about with Doom is it's a picture where it's in like a kind of, it almost looks like Renaissance-y, where he's on a throne and he's talking to a prisoner. Now, I don't know how much you have looked into
Like
this,
that.
but I've
It
watched.
looks like it's Reed Richards.
Yeah, well, no. So
Yeah.
no. So I've watched all these breakdowns, right? So apparently this is like the all-powerful god Doom. There is a comic book where, I don't know if you've seen the panel where he goes and talks to Thanos, and he's like, "Have you got have you got the stones yet?" And he's like, "No, but you're about to take on the almighty Thanos," and he rips the skeleton out of Thanos' body. So apparently that's who this Doom looks like and is, right? So the breakdown on this, right? So you've got the Doom on his throne, talking to some sort of subject. The four other characters that are apparently in this that's Yelena on the right, as like some sort of, so Florence Pugh's character.
It looks a little bit more like Vanessa Kirby from that artwork.
Well, apparently it's next to her, and next to Doom is Vanessa Kirby as Invisible Woman with Reed Richards' son in front, so that could be Doom's wife in another universe. And the one that you said that looks like Reed Richards is apparently Sheriff Strange. It's a variant of Stephen Strange that worked under Doom. So again, right, I enjoy the What If series. This shit is what I like about where it's like, right, let's go fucking otherworldly, let's go. It's Renaissance. It's such a different aesthetic. You're still having these characters, but you've got them in different circumstances, and friends are now foes and foes are now friends. I love this. This got me so excited for what's to come with Doomsday. What do you guys take from that? And again, if you want to talk about another picture that got you more excited, like what is your thoughts? Craig, I'll come to you first.
That was the one that got me the most excited. I love this as an idea. Now, Andrew, how much do you know about the actual Secret Wars story?
So I know. So I know obviously that it leads to Battle World, which essentially, so everything essentially it's going to end the multiverse, which Paul will be very happy about. Essentially, and I think this was the plan under Kang. Originally in the comics, it was Doom, and that's why they've kind of pivoted. Well, we obviously know the circumstances. But yeah, so to me, it's to get to Battle World. So to me, this could be a part on Battle World.
This is what I think it is. I think this is this is like the actual part of this is the big part of the whole story, which is the Battle World story. When I think all the characters have kind of been brought to this one world, and I think it will be essentially it is the people that we have met, but they're just tweaked slightly in terms. So that is, for example, that is our Stephen Strange that we've been following. He's just been like Doom has like manipulated the timeline, as it were, so that he is now this version of Strange, but he is still our Strange, if that makes sense. So that I'm very, very excited. I love the aesthetic. I love this kind of. It's very historical looking. I'm very excited. If this is the direction that we're going, I think this is going to be a cracking film. And again, I do trust the Russos overall. I think they know what they're doing. I think they're going to have a good time with it. I also like. To bring up another picture, I like the fact that we're potentially going down finally recasting T'Challa.
Yes.
Or going maybe with his son.
Yep.
Or whatever it may be.
I think it will be another. Another version of T'Challa. I don't think they're going to go down the son route. I've seen a lot of not outrage or outcry, but a lot of people are saying we don't want T'Challa like Junior. We want our T'Challa back. I feel as if this I didn't mind what they did with Black Panther 2 in the sense of it's T'Challa Junior essentially, and then they would maybe age him up or whatever, but I think going and getting another, he's the same T'Challa, but they've just had to recast it.
It's his best opportunity of doing it as well, because it makes sense for the story. It makes sense to recast him because it's just another version of T'Challa. That then when they do the whole universe collapsing at the end of Doomsday, I imagine, when we get our brand new Marvel world with all the X-Men and all these kind of things, we then very easily explain, okay, this is now T'Challa. Yeah, and it's simple that way.
I like it, and I'm kind of for it because I feel as if, look, I think. Forgive me. What's the girl that played her? Sorry, in the second one.
I cannot remember.
Her name is Shuri in the actual.
So
Shuri.
The girl that played Shuri did a very, very good job. But I think we need T'Challa back. We need these because again, it's the big thing is like, who are the Avengers? We don't have any Avengers, even in slight spoilers for Captain America Brave New World. We know because of the adverts to get the Avengers back together, but I'm like, who are the Avengers? Like, we don't have... You've got Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, technically you've still got Thor and Hulk and stuff like that, but I feel as if Black Panther was going to be, obviously if it was unfortunate that he passed away, but he was going to be one of the A players now that Cap and Iron Man were away, so I think it's a sensible thing to recast him.
Do you think they kind of wrote themselves into a corner with how they handled Chadwick Boseman's passing within their world? Not to like disparage the work that's been done.
I think it was the right thing to do at the time.
Yeah,
and I think this is now the way of getting.
Yep.
Like, this is now the way of moving forward. I think it's a very logical. It's story based, so it's fine.
Yeah, I agree with Craig in the sense of, because I'm going, if they recast them, I would completely understand people would have an outrage that it's too early to do that and to just kind of. But again, we've had it where, like, even General Ross, like, he's now
I'm just thinking, because that
Rhodey's new.
Yeah.
Like, again,
there's been a few recastings.
Yeah. The other one I want to talk about, so there's two more that I want to talk about. One, we'll do the smaller one soon, and then we'll talk about it because I think there's a more important one. There's a Hulk village where we get to see Hulk.
I love the look of that.
So do I, and this is what I'm saying. This is the shit where what if there was just like a place where there's lots of Hulks, and you've got Bruce Banner Hulk, you've got She-Hulk, and you've got is it Scar?
Scar.
Yeah, with a much better haircut, we must say. For those, again, that didn't watch it and you're listening to this, he shows up in She-Hulk and it's embarrassing, like, how stupid he looks. But yeah, really cool. Again, this is another clever way of getting a Hulk movie. I think there's still distribution rights with Universal's. That's why you've not had a Hulk movie as much as you could argue that Captain America Brave New World is a new Hulk movie. But the other important one I want to talk about is we get a look at what seems to be the young Avengers. So we got in one of the Marvel movies, I think it was the Marvels, we seen that Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan was going to put together her team, but you've got Kate Bishop, you've got Cassie, Ant-Man's daughter, you've got Speed, you've got why can't I think of his other name? Wiccan, thank you. Ms. Marvel, and it looks like they're being led by Star-Lord and Wong. And there's also like a little green blob that is apparently an X-Men character. But I don't know.
Idea who that is.
Yeah, I don't really know much about that character. Again, I would point you toward Nerdist. They'll have it all. How involved do you think we'll see them in this new movie? Do you think that's a way that we need to go? The other thing the question that I need to ask you as well is, like, the next two films are Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts. They don't seem to be introducing any of these characters. Like, we've never met Speed. We haven't seen Shang-Chi in the best part of 5-10 years. Like, there's so many characters that we don't know where they are. We don't know what they're doing. How do we get there in such a short time?
I don't think it's smart for them.
You give up.
Yeah. Well,
you're such a doer bastard, Paul.
Paul's nihilism aside, I don't. If there is a big reset button at the end of Doom World, Doomsday, Secret Wars, whatever the fuck it's called. Like, if you've got a big reset button, why? I don't think it's smart introducing new characters. Wait till the reset.
Look. Sorry. We just have to cut the cord here. They tried to make a thing out of these characters. They failed. They are not getting over, like, to use another wrestling term, they're not getting over like some of our previous, like, Iron Man and Thor, Captain America, were nowhere near the level of MCU we were before. So, these characters just need to quietly disappear into the ether, in all due respect.
So who do you think? So they do the reset, and what they introduced, like fucking Frogman as their new leading character.
Hey. Better than Frogman, you introduced Toad from the X-Men. There you go. See, I just fixed it.
Frogman is an actual frogman.
Oh, don't give me that. There's no Frogman.
There is.
Are you talking about the wee green guy that was on there? Anyway.
Come on, there's no Frogman.
My question to you and my question to the lovely viewers as well is, so quickly we'll go Joseph, Paul and Craig. Does this make you any more excited for these movies, or does it up your interest, lower your interest? Where do you sit for these future Avengers movies? Joseph first, then
Not
Paul.
one bit.
Not bothered at all?
Nope.
Are you out? Are you just like not arsed?
I'm just not arsed with it. Like,
Fair enough.
I'm rather unimpressed by it.
Fair enough. Paul?
My arse has not been by this one bit.
Fair.
There's the
Craig?
title. There's the title. Thank you.
Stop making the title happen.
Craig?
Yeah, my interest is. I'm definitely piqued. I like this whole story in itself from the comics and stuff. So I'm excited to see how they do it and how they adapt it. And from this concept art, I'm definitely interested.
I'm buzzing out my wee Avengers titties. I can't fucking wait for these movies. These two fucking dour bastards can away and watch your fucking whatever Severance is, and Paul, you can just concentrate on John Cena. Right. To round things up for this week's episode, we're going to have a quick look at the Oscar stuff. Did any of you watch it?
A little bit. I actually had a bit of a laugh watching the Ben Stiller production design bit.
Yeah, that was good. That was
quite
probably the
funny.
highlight.
Fair. I seen Adam Sandler's jokey bit. That was funny to me. Do you know what I realised, right? And again, I don't really put a lot into Oscars. I feel as if now it's became very much a popularity contest, and I think it's the people that like you need to bid to kind of get your movie seen for Oscars and stuff like that. And there's just, I just don't think it kind of gauges what the regular audience kind of watches and their thoughts and stuff. Like there was again, I've not seen it, so I'm not going to give my opinions on it, but that Amelia Perez, every clip that I've seen from that film, it looks awful. It got
It has not had the best reception as a film.
Yeah, Rotten
And
Tomatoes,
with,
it's like...
with the context of the film, it's not been tactful.
I'm not even talking about the context of the film, right? I'm just going off what I'm seeing as a general overview. The clips that I've seen, I'm going, this looks bad. The Rotten Tomatoes scores, audience score, it's something like 30-odd%. We missed that one for the fucking the movie draft. And I think even the critic score is like 70-something%. And I'm going, how can this be one of the most touted movies for an Oscar?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get
It's one of
it.
the Oscar ones.
And again, I'm going to need to probably watch it to give my full opinion on it. So, let's have a wee look. So, yes, Craig.
Can I suggest a wee thing for this part of the show?
Go for
Could
it.
we all each give our biggest snub? Pick one category that you're outraged by the winner, and you think someone else should have won in that category.
I feel like
Oh,
you
can I
already
start
know.
then?
All right. Oh, yeah. Go
Can
for
I
it.
start? Because I've got a perfect outrage. Actor in supporting role. There was a nomination. Somebody was not nominated for this that should have won it, quite frankly. It should have been Clarence Macklin. Clarence Divine Macklin from Sing Sing. He should have won this. Sing Sing was nominated for a couple of things. They should have won because, quite frankly, it was the best film that came out last year. Hands down.
Now, what I will say, and I will later be guilty of this. Have you seen the other films?
Some of them.
I've not. But that's my thing is like, so Kieran Culkin won it. I've seen A Real Pain. He's good in it. He's very good. My happiness came for Kieran Culkin's speech, which was
Oh yeah,
delightful.
that was a great speech.
Yeah.
But like I think it's so I think it's indicative of like what the Oscars has become, that a guy like Clarence Macklin was not nominated for this role when in fact I don't think there was anyone in that cinema watching Sing Sing that couldn't tear their eyes away from the screen watching that man's, quite frankly, magnificent performance.
I need to watch this movie because you've bigged it up
Me
something awful, and I'm gonna watch it. I am gonna watch it. There's probably a good chance I'm gonna watch like 3 or 4 of these films that have been nominated and stuff like that. Craig, do you have a snub that you want to have a go at?
I mean, if I had to pick, I would say I kind of agree with Joseph. I've not seen Sing Sing yet, but I assume that I also would probably think maybe a best adapted screenplay. Joseph, would you think maybe it would beat Conclave? I've seen Conclave.
Oh,
I've not seen
yes.
Sing Sing yet. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
It would.
And
I think
in terms of
Nickel Boy should have won the category it was in as well. What was it in?
that adapted screenplay as well. Yeah, that's
Yes.
adapted screenplay as well.
Like Nick, what a film.
I think I would have given best animated feature to The Wild Robot, but again, I've not seen Flow, so I can't fully comment on that, I suppose.
Fun fact about animated feature film: I think this is the 3rd year in a row that Disney have not won, and it's like the first time ever that they've went 3 years in a row without a win, which is nuts. So the animated films, you had Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. It's a pretty strong nominees.
Wallace and Gromit should always win. That's my snub, actually. I watched that, and that film is delightful to watch. And it won the BAFTA, but it deserved the Oscar.
I don't count a snub, so I don't remember where. I think it was from Collider. It was a guy called Christian Harloff who kind of says a snub to me is someone who doesn't get nominated, but realistically could have won it. So I'm not. This isn't a snub for me, and again, I've not seen The Brutalist. It's another one that I need to watch, but it's 3 hours long, and I'm going, do I really want to put myself through that?
Adrian Brody's speech is still going.
Yeah, it's still happening.
He's still doing his announcement.
Cinematography, the fact that Dune Part 2 didn't win that, I'm kind of like, because Dune Part 2 is stunning. I absolutely adore it. So, looking at it, Paul, I don't know, do you have a snub? Or you told us your snub was...
Oh, for sure. I'm just double checking what the is for supporting actor was, but I know Kieran Culkin won, which I saw A Real Pain.
It was fine.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was fine.
I liked it. It was a good movie, but I was like,
So what I'll do, just for the listeners or the viewers, if you don't know it, so actor in a leading role was Adrian Brody in The Brutalist. Actor in a supporting role was Kieran Culkin in Real Pain. Actress in a leading role is Mickey Madison from Anora. Actress in a supporting role was Zoe Saldana in Amelia Perez. Animated film was Flow, and Best Picture was also Anora, and that also won Best Director. Now, my thoughts pre-last night, where I'd seen a thing where it was Demi Moore had won pretty much most of the awards for Best Actress, and for The Substance, which again is another film that I've not seen. I'm going to watch it. She won most of the awards, and then Mickey Madison won the Oscar. Hadn't won any awards previous, and then she won the Oscar. People brought up the fact that that's the plot to The Substance, where it's an aging out woman is kind of set aside, and it's the more young and talented. So that was my thought. As I'm going, that seems strange. What I will say is I saw Anora last night. Anora is fucking fantastic. It is such a good film. What I will say, and it's the thing that put me off, the trailer did not advertise what this film is in the best way to me.
Yeah, I was quite, I watched the trailer. It was on the advert just before watching something the other night, and I wasn't overly
fussed.
Fussed. I was like, okay, yeah, that looks cool. I might watch that at some point because I know it's an Oscar.
Yeah.
It's an Oscar-winning film. I was like, yeah, okay. But now that you've
very well acted,
I'm like, yeah,
very well acted, so funny, like legit one of the funniest films I have watched. The acting is fantastic. The group cast, like the ensemble cast, all brilliant. Story's really fun. It is, again, coming from a white guy, it's not really for me, so impactful for like sex workers and for people within that industry, and it gives them a light to kind of show themselves on. My girlfriend was kind of explaining stuff to me that I maybe didn't get, that went over my head, and I was like, oh wow, some beautiful character moments. It's a fantastic film. However, what I will say is, as much as I enjoyed it, it's probably like 9 out of 10, close to a 10 out of 10. The thing for me about Mickey Madison winning it, her performance is phenomenal, but I'm like, is that the best performance? Is that really like the tippy top? Especially with apparently Demi Moore putting in an absolutely wonderful performance. I don't know, but the important question is to you, lovely viewers: have you guys seen every film? What should have won these? What should have won Best Picture? What should have won Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting? All that kind of stuff. Let us know. What do you think of our snubs? What the gents have said that have been snubbed. I said Dune. Joseph is a big fan of Sing Sing. Let us know what you thought of the Oscars. Are you even interested in the Oscars? I don't know, like viewership wise, they usually tell it goes down and down and down. So I'd be interested.
It's gone way down since.
Way down.
Because I remember I used to
ever since Will Smith, things just haven't gone up. You know.
Is that is that what you aspire to as Polly Smack? Is you want to get to that stage where you can just walk up and fucking somebody right across the mug?
I mean, that was literally the Oscars meets wrestling. You know what I mean? So I was like, hey, there you go.
Well, there you go. As we say,
Even cut a promo afterwards. You know what I mean?
he did cut a promo. It was a solid promo as well. 10 out of 10, no notes. Any other business before we wrap things up, gents?
Saw The Monkey. Monkey's a great film. It's a great film. It's a load of shit, but it's great.
Yeah, thank you. That's it. Yeah,
but it's great.
Shit, but it's great.
Does the guy that I forget, the comedian that sells tea bags appear in it?
Johnny Vegas.
Yes, Johnny Vegas.
Yeah, main character, mate. He plays the monkey.
He is the monkey.
Yeah.
Monkey.
Well, to wrap things up, we have so much coming to you on the podcast here on YouTube and here on our podcast channel. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, sharing. Please, please, please comment on the video. Let us know what you thought of this week's episode. Let us know what you thought of the Oscars. Let us know what you're thinking of the Marvel leaks. Let us know what you're thinking of Daredevil. Have you watched it? Have you loved it? All that good stuff. Let us know what you want us to be reviewing. We will be going to see Mickey 17 this week. We will be seeing it on Friday. We are possibly going to do a full spoiler review. If we don't do a full spoiler review, we'll talk about it on next week's episode of the catch up. But we're going to try and do a full spoiler review.
Sit there, my fingers crossed that it's going to fail. It's going to be terrible. I'm just going to like, come on, fail.
It's 90%, mate. It's 90%. So I don't give a shit.
That number can only.
It's gonna go.
It can only.
It's gonna go
It's
down.
all good, man.
Is that where it's sitting at now?
It's at 90, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's at 90 right now.
It'll soon be called
It's
Mickey
gonna go down.
17% on Rotten Tomatoes, mate. Losing you a million points, pal.
Craig, not to burst your bubble, brother, but it's at 85.
Oh, look at it going down.
Down
Yeah, it's at 85. Still fresh, though. That's still a good score. So yeah, we will be seeing that on Friday. We're probably going to try and do a wee spoiler review of that. We have so many TV series that we'll be talking about. The one thing that made me panic is we were actually talking them through and there was about 4 or 5 that were happening concurrently. But Invincible finishes next week, so we will have episode 7 is up just now. 8 will be up next week. Daredevil will be getting done with myself and Vash. Severance isn't too far off finishing as well.
Couple of weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
3 more episodes.
Yeah.
We will have in April Andor season 2, and we will have the wonderful Last of Us season 2. So it's busy times here on the With Mates podcast. So we need your help to get this in front of as many eyes and ears as possible. So as I say, make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing, make sure you are commenting, get involved in the conversation. I'm just going to put it out there. Where's my guy been? Where's Steph been? Usually calls me.
Sorry.
No, you're my boo boo cakes. Steph, where you been, mate? Where's the verbal ping pong that I'm used to? Get in the comment section. Let us know what you thought of all this week's topics. But that's all for this week. I am at Alf the Grey on all social media platforms. Joseph, where can they find you?
Lovely people can find me and my silky voice at the bottom of a ditch, digging up more Marvel content for you guys. But when I'm not there, I'm at Joseph Boone on both Twitter and Instagram, doing fuck all there.
Joseph Boone is the perfect example of when you were in school, the well-behaved boy that sat next to the absolute rogue rebel that just likes to cause carnage and starts infecting that young man's mind. You didn't used to hate Marvel this way. Polly Smack, the carnage that I am so talking about, where can the people find you and what you do?
You may find me in the carnage-filled ring where I'm hugging Cody Rhodes before I boot him right in his balls. That is my Instagram. Tell me if you even followed that. At Stirret Story.
Lovely. And the Triple Barrel Man, Craig, where can the people find you and what you do?
You can find me on all social media platforms. It's at Craig Andrew Mooney.
Lovely. And if you want to follow the podcast, and we encourage you to do so, we are at WithMatesPod on all social media platforms. Thank you so much for watching this week. We will be back next week with more fun topics and more of Polly Smack's stuff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Let's on the Meiji.
Monkey, if you smell what Polly Smack's cooking.
You're a weird guy, man.